Fly. Let's beat the squad. Big Pat Shell and Dante the Dark Jive. Drop the stats on them. Drop the facts on them. Spur King, baby. Let's get it on.
Hey, fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight, and welcome to another edition of Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles cover show on Facebook that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. What a week. The NFL schedule has been released this week, and we know who our Philadelphia Eagles will be playing this upcoming season. And it's a very exciting time because, you know, we can't wait for them to get back on the field. But this gives us a little bit of excitement here because we can kind of prognosticate what's going to happen in this upcoming season here. And from what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling around, I think a lot of people are optimistic about this upcoming season, even with all the turmoil and dysfunction and the new coach and the franchise quarterback being shipped off and the Super Bowl winning coach being let go. There still seems to be a lot of optimism amongst us fans about this upcoming season. One of our followers put in the group on Facebook, he put a question out there. Well, he said something about if Flacco was probably our best chance at making some noise this year, which is ridiculous to me, but it also shows his pessimism about what we can do this season. So in that vein, I'm going to ask you guys, of course, you know, I'm going to ask, what do you guys think about, what do you guys feel? What's the prediction after seeing this schedule and all? And we know that it's very, very early in the game to be making this prediction because we haven't even seen the guys come into camp and we don't know who's going to be on the field the first week, but we're going to have some fun. We're going to see what do you guys think? What do you think the prediction is for this upcoming season? Are you like Eddie? Are you like Eddie and think that there's nothing? I mean, we're not going to do much, and the only chance we have is if Flacco comes in and saves us or something. And if you do think that we're going to have more wins than last year, which was 4, what happened to this team that's going to give us those extra wins? All right, that's what we're going to talk about today. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce my co-host, Pat Sandlin, one of the Sandlin boys, and the beautiful Nichelle down there. And before we go any further, let me just go into the chat room and see who's the first person in the room tonight. And that seems to be Johnny. Johnny says, yo, what's up, Johnny? Thank you for tuning in. Miles was second. He says, fly, Eagles, fly. Going to the game in Atlanta. I think we're going to be better than people think. Yeah, we're going to get your opinion on that. And we're going to give ours also. Tremont was third. He says, what's up, Eagles family? What's up, man? BJ is in the house also. He says he's here. Thank you for being here, BJ. We appreciate it. Danny is here. Says can't wait until the first game against Atlanta. I'm in there. I hear you. Jeremiah is up next. All right, and who's this? Any relation to you, Pat?
Yeah.
Okay.
What up, Stacy, man? Happy belated
All right.
birthday. I know your birthday was yesterday, man.
All right, so Stacy is chiming in too. So we're going to get to all of you guys' comments. But before we do anything, we have to start this first quarter.
You're now listening to the first quarter.
Yeah, you're watching and listening to Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook. That's by us fans, for us fans. It's no broadcast journalists here. We're just fans just like yourself, sitting in the living room talking to you guys as we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. And tonight I will be doing not too many, but I'll do a shot of Patron Silver. As you can probably tell, I like tequila as a shot drink. That's a good shot drink to me. Anyway, Pat, what will you be doing?
I'm doing the Henry McKenna bourbon whiskey sour mash.
Ooh, okay. You got a different brown. Okay. All right.
Cracking it open.
Up on us.
I got the Apothic Crush Red Blend.
Red Blend. I saw that. I just picked up a bottle of wine. I was tempted to grab a bottle. I had down in Florida, I had Black Girl Magic.
What's that? Why didn't you send me some of that?
Yeah,
Why didn't you bring me some back?
I forgot my bottle. I didn't even. I left it at the house. I was like, oh man, I forgot. And didn't I
Let's
walked in a
order
couple
a
stores
case
up here.
online and let's split a case.
Yeah, I wanted to try that. The Black Girls Magic. That's what it's called. And I left it down there. Red wine. So let's pour these drinks and get this conversation started. Had a great time. I'm back. Been a long week trying to get adjusted to being back and not being in 90-degree weather and being able to just jump in the pool when I have to. It's tough. It's been a tough week. Let's just say that. Been
really, dude.
Yes,
really, dude.
Yes, really
dude. You get this.
Come back. Look, I come back.
I know, right? Let's hate.
No.
Let's hate.
We had a short heat wave before I left. So when I left on a day that it was 85 degrees and I was going to Florida. So I dressed accordingly. I had shorts on and everything. What I did not do is anticipate the return home because it was not 85 degrees when I got back. Nope. It was like 40 degrees and I was dressed like it was July 4th. So I get off the plane and I come out and it's cold. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I knew I made a mistake when my wife was saying to my daughter, make sure you put on your jean jacket. And I was like, oh, at that moment, I realized I effed up. I'm like, damn, I don't have a jean jacket. I don't have anything.
Prepared.
I was not prepared. All right, so I'm back with you guys in the basement studio, and we're going to talk about these Eagles, and we're going to talk about this upcoming schedule. So, to our Philadelphia Eagles, everyone, down the hatch, 3, 2, 1. All right, so you heard the opening. We got the schedule was released. I hope somebody has it on the screen too, because I don't have it.
First game is against the Falcons.
I know that one. First game. And we're not going to go. We're not doing the. That's a separate show when we get closer to the beginning of the season after training camp. We usually do our prediction show. This is not that. Although we're going to make predictions, but this is not our official prediction show. It'll be closer to when the season starts. But so we're not going to go game by game like we do on the prediction show. We're just going to go off the top number or how many wins you think the Eagles can get out of this schedule. So like I said in the opening, you guys, Eddie seems to be down after seeing the schedule. He says our only hope is if Flacco gets hot. He has no confidence in Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I'll ask you guys, starting with you, Nichelle, what do you think? What's the wins for the Eagles after seeing the schedule?
At a bare minimum, we're definitely going to go 500. I don't count these guys out. I don't count the work ethic of Hurts. I don't count that out, or this O-line. I think everybody's hungry. I think the tone of the team, listening to some of the interviews this week between Devontae Smith, Kelsey, it's almost we're almost back in underdog mode. I think we could possibly go 10, 11 wins, but I don't think that schedule is so crazy that we can't. You know what I mean? If you really, really look at that schedule, it's not crazy. I know a lot of people think that, oh, we're not going to do anything. I have no faith, but this young boy has been working out with our receivers, our running backs, our O-line is getting healthy. So this is his time to shine. He obviously has a season to prove himself. What you think he's not going to step to the plate? When has he not in his career stepped up to the plate? Playing on the biggest stages in college football. So I don't understand what's all the angst about. Like, let's see how it plays out. But I definitely think we're going to have between, 8 to 10 wins for sure.
Yeah, well, with the new season being 17 wins, we can't go 500 no more.
Yeah,
you either go 8-9 or 9-8. And in all seriousness, this team is a different culture being built down there at One NovaCare Plaza. And I, like you just said, I do see it, starting with the receiver and the quarterback and the wide receiver. I know you guys heard the podcast on Chris Long podcast.
It's great.
Yeah, it was awesome, actually.
It was so good.
Devontae was talking about, his chemistry with Jalen Hurts, how he played with him, how he feels, though, they could be, the best 1-2 punch in the NFL. And he didn't say that with like a cocky tone. He just said that, listen.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah, the guy asked him, so who you think is going to be the best, new duo? Tua and Waddle or Joe Burrow and Chase? He said, I think it's going to be me and Jalen. I mean, in the way he said it was just like, you know what? I'm calm, cool, and collective. I'm smooth with it. I'm going to go out there. We're going to prove it. And that culture inside the locker room is what was needed. It's what was missing from last year.
Absolutely.
Something was missing from last year. We always talked about having a philosophy, having what you're going to do, what's your team about. And we laugh and we joke about Sirianni, but he was dead serious, making it stupid easy for everybody. If you have these fundamentals down, we can be a dominant team. And we got to give these guys a chance. I think they're going to win 10 games.
So 10 games. All right. I'll put a couple comments
they
up
have
there.
A chance.
Muhammad, I got another question for you guys. I want to see what the people were saying out there. Muhammad says 7 wins. Jeremiah says, I say 10 wins and the division. Joe Guns says 11 wins all day. Joe Guns is really high.
Joe Guns, I do 5 shots. No, I'm joking.
All right. Muhammad says young coaching staff, no competent cornerback, second cornerback, D-line that can't sack the quarterback, young and experienced quarterback that has accuracy issues and trouble fumbling and taking care of the ball. With all that in account, 7 to 8 wins. All right, so my next question for you guys who think that we're going to have a winning season, 10, 11, 7. Somebody says 7, even though that's not a winning record if we have 7 wins. But that's still an improvement over last year. So my question now is, what do you see in this team? What has happened from the end of last year, where we were a 4-win team, to this point right here, because we haven't even gotten to the beginning of the season yet. We don't even know who's going to be healthy, who's not. But what has changed on this team in your mind that shows you an improvement of wins by as much as 5 games? I mean, 6 games. Pat says 10 wins, and you said 8 or 9, so that's an improvement of 4 to 5 wins. Tell me where this team has gotten 4 to 5 wins better.
I think on attitude alone.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same
alone,
thing.
the locker room alone. What do you think that doesn't come into play? It's not just about injuries. It's just not about making plays. The attitude dictates how you perform on the field. Devontae mentioned that in his interview. Practice is scripted, so those guys already know what he's going to do. The real test is when you're in the game, when they don't see how you practice. You know what I mean? You still have to go out there, practice hard, but they already know what he's going to do, so they could clamp down on him because they're used to working out with him every day. And he's also someone that talked about being a de facto coach, coming back to the sideline and not just talking about what he's doing or get him the ball. Yes, he wants the ball. He's ball hungry, but he talks about telling what he's seeing on the field to help the coach out. That sometimes would change the plays when he was at the college level. So I think the attitude alone adds a few more W's in that W column, because we didn't have that for the past 2 years. We didn't have that. We didn't have guys excited. There was a lot of contentiousness, in the locker room. We didn't have any of that. And I think, they're using this time with a new fresh slate, a new coaching staff. We got some young fire, in a Devontae Smith. Jalen Hurts is going to work no matter what the naysayers say. He's going to put in work. Our O-line is excited to come back behind these guys. We didn't have that for 2 years. So attitude adds to the W column.
Yes,
we can't negate that. We can't
Yes,
negate
it
that.
does. The
right.
attitude means a lot. Go ahead, Dante.
No, I was going to say, I'm going to play devil advocate.
Okay.
I'll give my opinion later. All right. So attitude alone, you think it's going. So the attitude of this team cost us 5 games last year. You think
Absolutely.
if the
Attitude and accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was accountable.
accountability.
Nope.
So
Nobody
can
was
we
accountable.
throw some who was lacking accountability?
Ugh.
Can we throw names out there?
Half the team.
We already know.
I mean, Doug had no power. Doug had no
honest.
power. Wentz wasn't taking accountability. You know what I mean? The whole offensive group was really not happy last year. So and the year prior.
I'm gonna put it to you from the 2 players I heard interviewed this week, Devontae Smith and Jason Kelce this morning, and they both in their interview spoke about accountability. Jason Kelce said one thing about last year when Angelo, I hate to bring up the name, but when WP asked him about what was wrong with Carson Wentz, was he didn't want to answer that question, but the way he answered it is not putting Carson Wentz under the bus. He said there were players that didn't take accountability for their losses. There were players that thought they weren't the cause of us losing. There are players that didn't put forth the effort. And when Devontae Smith was asked a similar question about the attitude, the team, how do you overcome 3 guys in front of you that's going to be first-round draft picks, and how did y'all win these championships and win these games? Accountability was number 1. He said you got to be accountable for yourself and also for your teammates. You got to understand that if I jump off sides, our play that we perfectly had made we had to design a new play. It's going to cost us yards, and now we might even get the first down. Accountability is huge in this game of football. You got to be accountable. You got to have that attitude. You got to say, you know what, that's on me. I'm going to take my time. I want to understand this is the count. I'm going to hold my water. This is an NFL. That's not an NFL term. That's a football term. Hold your water. When quarterback says on 3, you got to hold your water. I know you're antsy. You're ready to get after the defensive lineman, but let the quarterback do his job right. And the quarterback has to be accountable for his mistakes also.
All right. I'm going to go to some comments. The question I asked was, how do you think this team is going to be 4 to 5 wins better? What do you see has changed in this team that makes it a 4 or 5 win better team than what we saw at the end of last year? Like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate. So let's look at some of the things at the end of last year. We had although our franchise quarterback played horribly last year, we had a franchise quarterback cemented in that role. He is now gone. We had a Super Bowl winning coach. He is now gone. And then his whole coaching staff is now gone. We've had to let some veterans go and not have had a lot of money to make any type of splash in free agency. So we don't have we cannot boast as in off seasons before of adding a top name or top talent in free agency. We basically did not get one in this free agency. So we did not add through free agency. And we had our draft. and people feel good about the draft, but do you think that's enough to equate to just attitude and our young guys that we added through the draft is going to, because let's face it, our roster last year was not very good. It was not very good. When players went down, we did not have replacements for them, quality replacements for them. So our roster was not good. So how has this roster been improved? Where are we going to get these 5 wins for? Just from attitude? Just from Sirianni coming in and saying, like, let's go, gang, we can do it? And that's going to be enough?
It's better leadership. I think it's better leadership.
Yeah, attitude translates to execution.
Hold that thought. I'm going to go to some comments out here because people have been talking. And I put this comment up here before, and it was probably premature, but I'm going to go back to it. Muhammad says, now, these are things, young coaching staff, we don't have a competent second cornerback as of yet. We haven't had training camp, so nobody has emerged yet. D-line, they couldn't sack the quarterback last year, and they're older now. And young and inexperienced quarterback that has accuracy issues. He was only like 50-something% on his pass completions last year. And trouble fumbling and taking care of the ball with all that. That's why he says 7 wins. JR says, to be honest, easy schedule with 0 secondary is he has no idea to make of this team. Jeremiah, in answer to where do we get these 5 wins for, and he says coaching changes and morale. So he's putting them both together, the coaching changes and the attitude in the locker room. JR says, only shock is if we make it deep in the playoffs. Wow. No, the real shock is if we make it to the playoffs. That'll be the big shock. Joe Gunn says the mentality of our new quarterback. He likes the mentality of a new quarterback. Johnny says Devontae Smith equals the 4 to 5 wins. He is the reason why this team is going to have 4 to 5 wins. Oh, that's a lot to put on, but he is a quality addition to this team, even without taking a snap. So we'll see how he plays out. JR says he wasn't a fan of the secondary. Terrence Hopkins, now we're getting to some substance. Terrence Hopkins says a healthy O-line and hopefully better coaching will get us more wins. And I'm with that. I'm going in that direction. That's a tangible thing right there. I can see that now. That is an addition. I can see some wins coming off. Just the fact that if our O-line is healthy this year, that's going to equate up. That's the end of the first quarter.
And remember, we found out after Doug and Wentz left that Wentz wasn't coachable the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on now.
I'll take that.
That's a whole different. That's
Make
a whole
case.
different
That's what I
ball
want.
game. That's a whole different ball game.
The craziest
Wentz
thing
was a bit straight up.
Uh-huh,
Wentz was a bit straight up. The team couldn't vibe with that. Right.
You want to hear this? Jason Kelce said on the show this morning. He said almost the exact same thing that you just said, Nichelle, but he didn't say those words. Throw him on the bus. He said Jalen Hurts is more coachable, and he was more of a take control guy in the huddle. Meaning he wasn't scared to tell somebody like, you got to do better. And he said that he didn't do it in a cocky way, but he did it understanding that we got to be better at what we're doing. He's basically what he's saying is Carson Wentz wasn't that leader inside the huddle.
Look, when your quarterback, your point guard, your field general is your weakest link, everybody's going to be a 4 or 5 win team. It doesn't work that way in the NFL. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. So
all right. So Joe Guns also jumps in there. He says before I go to the comments, let's start this second quarter. You're watching Eagles Talk, where we like to talk about our favorite football team, and we do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. And tonight, Pat is switched up. He's doing some different brown liquor. Hold that up, Pat. What is that again?
Some Henry McKenna bourbon whiskey, sour mash.
Henry McKenna, and I'm going to take one more. This will be my last one. One more shot of Silver Patron.
Red wine.
And the lovely Lachelle is drinking her wine, her red wine. So let me know what you're drinking out there. Apothic Crush. Let me know what you're drinking out there as we continue the discussion on this upcoming season and the schedule and what you guys think this team is going to do. A lot of people are very optimistic and think we're going to come out with a winning record, and I just want you to show me where are we going to get these wins. What's better from last year that makes you think that we're going to be 4 to 5 wins better than
We
last
still
year.
have some holes, though. We still have some holes,
All
in
right, so
defense,
here we
so.
go. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second
Oh, I'm
quarter.
there now. Oh, I'm there now. Okay, yeah, we can get, yeah, I'm there now. Yeah, 11 wins. 11 wins. 11
You're not
wins,
there
and
yet.
we go to the
You're
NFC.
not there yet.
No, I'm there now. I got 2 shots now.
May.
Now I'm very optimistic like you
He
guys.
like,
I'm
I'm
on
there
board.
now.
Yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board.
I said
All right, so
500. We're going to at least get 500.
We
all
gotta
right,
go
let me put
60.
this comment up here because this is I don't know. I'm not going to say it's more realistic. I don't know, but this is a different point of view. So here, Kyle. Kyle says, I'm seeing 5 wins. We know nothing about our new coaching system. Our O-line isn't reliable. The secondary is trash. We have an unproven quarterback. Remember what we all thought last year. We thought we were going to the playoffs. How can anyone be so optimistic about next season? Interesting point. You guys want to you want to debate that? I mean, he's making some good points here. We had 4 wins. This roster was horrible. We made some changes, but nobody has told me what changes outside of attitude. I'm not going to discount that. That's real. Outside of attitude and accountability, what talent? I mean, because that's what's going to take the win. I mean, what players? How is this roster 4 wins better than last year? Give me some tangible. I need some names. I need something. Deshaun says, common sense coaching starting with defense coaching adjustments like learning sticks defense, shore up the tackling and schemes and defense awareness. So he's thinking it's going to be done on the defensive end of the spectrum here. JR says this attitude will come down to the new coach and how he gets them in line like Reed did. The George Hegman, remember that? Dark Knight needs water, saying 11 wins. No, I'm trying to be optimistic like everybody else here. I'm asking you guys, make a case to me.
I think 5 wins is just disrespectful on the fact that we brought in a one of the best wide receivers in the country alone. Like, seriously, you think we're out of 17 games? Seriously?
I think we're undermining the talent that we really actually have.
Right.
Like you got to look at it from last. If
so
you go back and look at last year,
you're saying this team's roster was better than the 4-win team roster.
You got to look at
it. Was better than 4. We all know it was better than 4
wins. We kept talking about the play call, and we kept talking about the quarterback not making.
We never talk about the
quarterback alone lost us at least 4 or 5 games alone. All right, the quarterback alone. We're not even talking about
MVP quarterback because his attitude sucked.
He was terrible. He was historically bad last year. Let's be honest. He was the worst last year. 4 or 5 games you lose because you think you could put a ball somewhere that shouldn't be thrown, and you already know that you're uncoachable and you're calling
changing Doug's
out of running plays. So therefore, you change that atmosphere, you change that attitude. Now you bring somebody else into this fold. Yes, we don't know what this coaching staff is going to unfold. We don't know what this team is going to look like. We don't even know what the roster is set because the roster is not even set. We got 89 people on the roster right now. We don't have our roster set. So yes, we're just throwing some numbers out there because we see the roster. We see that Atlanta is getting old and long in the tooth. They might have a dynamic offense, but their defense is worse than ours. We look at San Fran. They don't know which quarterback is going to start. Then you go to Cowgirls. We hate the Cowgirls, so we're always going to say we're going to beat Dallas. The Chiefs, yeah, we're going to lose against the Chiefs. I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to lose against the Chiefs. But then you go with the Carolina. Carolina's in a
we're going to beat the
period.
Chiefs. We're going to beat the Chiefs.
But we got a group of people that have something to prove.
But they got some hunger there, man.
There's hunger that was not there because we was so busy in the world of just having toxic relationships within the whole I mean, we don't, they won the Super Bowl. It was almost like the Super Bowl was one of the worst things that happened to us.
All right, here we go.
In terms of attitude.
Darn it, where is that? All right, someone gave me a reasonable formula on how to get these wins. Where was it?
We do need another CB.
All right, here, Ted Wiggins.
Talking about that.
Although he's not. He's pointing out this is tangible right here. 3 wins in the division, so that he's saying we going
split.
3-3. We split with everybody, and then wins against the Panthers, Broncos, Jets, and Vegas. That's 7 wins. 7 right there. That's not, that's a 3-game improvement. I can
Well,
see
I think we're
I can
gonna beat
see that
Detroit.
path right there.
I think we're
When
gonna beat
you look
Detroit.
at it,
You got Detroit out there, right?
yeah,
You
we
done
got
put
Detroit
down
out there.
The New Orleans Saints, they're in a transitional period right now because they don't know who you're starting. If Jameis Wilson is their starting quarterback, then we can count that as a W.
All right, to Wayne. Let me go
that's
to Wayne's
about,
comment.
It's about 9 wins.
All right, we have the best O-line and second best D-line in the division. We can compete in the division. Everyone knew our schemes last year. Defense and offense was predictable. Okay, and JR says we do have the receivers now. You could be right. Wentz check out of almost every run to an incompletion. So that was a factor. You're right. Wentz's his insubordination. That's the best word I can put.
It cost us.
He's cost us a lot of
4
games.
to 5 games. Straight up.
So if we get 9, that is amazing. Bill Crowell's in the house. What's up, Bill? If we get 9, that is amazing. But I try to stay positive, but defense is suspect till I see something. Yeah, a lot of this is the best case scenario. We're hoping. But I'll help you guys make it. I'll help you guys make a case. This is where I see an improvement over last year. Roster-wise, although we did not sign any top-notch free agents, just the return of our healthy O-line is going to be like adding new players to the team.
Sure
here.
is.
Our line was decimated with injuries last year, so we get Brandon Brooks, a Pro Bowler, back. We get a healthy Lane Johnson, another Pro Bowler. Jason Kelce was always healthy. I mean, always solid. And then we have the young guy. We have Salem Alou on the other side as a guard, and he's solid. And we have the 2 left tackles battling out for position. So our offensive line coming back healthy is a big improvement. I think that's 2 to 3 games right there. Secondly, with that, it helps the quarterback to play better, right? So I'm saying that Jalen Hurts will not, I'll say it today, will not play worse than Carson Wentz did last year. Even as an inexperienced quarterback, he will not play worse than Carson Wentz last year. Why? He'll have a healthy offensive line. And 2, you guys
he listens
mentioned it,
to his coaches.
He listens. He's going to run the play that the coach is calling. So
and they're going to run the ball.
and they're going to run the ball. So those 2 things. Those 2 things right there is going to be a major improvement. Now, if I look at the roster, we did improve ourselves in one of our not weakest, but one of our biggest needs, and that was the wide receiver position. We got the Heisman Trophy winner of last year. He's coming in and he's going to be playing with his college quarterback. So there's some type of chemistry there, and like he said, and I like the young man's moxie when he said that who's going to be the best duo? It's going to be me and Jalen. I like that moxie. I like that bravado. I like that confidence. He just has to go out and feel and prove it. But I'm with you guys on the attitude thing. Just a change of attitude, and the coaching staff is a big part of that, with them being young and enthusiastic and being ambitious. Ambitious
That's
is a key
the
word.
Hunger.
They have hunger on coming in here and making staking their claim or making a name for themselves as coaches. And this is Sirianni's first head coaching position, and a lot of his assistants is their first shot at the position they have. I mean, Gannon is his first shot as a defensive coordinator. He's on the fast track of being a head coach, and he was a hot prospect out there for defensive coordinator. So we really lucked up by securing him or getting him with Sirianni as a package deal. That's really good. So I'm seeing that the improvement in the coaching staff, although they are unproven, I think they have a lot of enthusiasm, and I'm looking forward and I'm referring to what Pat said earlier, hearing Jason Kelce talk this morning. It's just hard not to just be excited about this season coming up. Jason Kelce is definitely the most Philadelphia athlete on that team. He is Philadelphia all the way. And if you heard him this morning, it's hard not to be fired up, because this is a veteran who decides every year, and they even asked him why. We know that you have a question of whether you're coming back each year, And why do you come back? When you heard that answer there, I was ready for the season to start right then. He said, I love the competition. I love to go in there and try to be the best team in the NFL and try to be the best center in the NFL. He loves that he loves the bonding and the relationships he has with those guys in the locker room. And he's that guy. He's that guy. So I'm all on board with the attitude and things like that. The roster has improved somewhat. We had a good draft. We're going to see if these young guys can play, but we also have new coaches that can put all the questions we had or all the doubts we had about Schwartz and his scheme. We have a new guy coming in. We have a fresh slate here. We have a new guy, and although he has never done it before, we can expect a new perspective on defense. We can hope for not sticks defense. We're not going to be playing sticks defense. You know what I'm saying? So
really hope
the
not.
same same defensive line that didn't have many sacks last year can be the defensive line that has a lot of sacks just based on the D coordinator's philosophy and scheme. So I'm on board
And
with you guys.
we didn't even touch on our running backs. That's like untapped gold for us, our running backs. Untapped gold that we never really fully utilized.
I like that comment you just put up here.
And I think it's going to be a problem because I think our running backs are going to beat you, or Devontae Smith is going to beat you. What you going to do?
We talked about
Rager.
Rager underperforming, but he was on par with Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs got drafted way before he did. But with that comment you put up there about Tulane, we won a Super Bowl with a terrible secondary.
Right.
We did. Our secondary was trash when we won the Super Bowl.
But our defensive line was the one. Our defensive line was what masked our secondary, and I could see, even though I'm still mad at Howie, I could see what Howie did in the draft. Howie when got guys that get pressure, that's hard to move. That actually, Teron Jackson, the defensive end from Coastal Carolina, had 59 pressures last year. He was the number one guy in the college football to get pressures. I could see why he went after these certain players. Now I kind of understand it now. I had to sit back and look from afar to see who these guys are and see the philosophy he wants to go after. That line of scrimmage is crucial in this game of football. We say week in and week out, if we win the line of scrimmage, we can win this game.
All right, we got a question for you. Oh, this is in the second quarter, so I'll begin the third quarter with this
I'll
question
answer that
for
after the
Nichelle.
quarter.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the quarter.
You guys are watching Eagles Talk, where we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage, and we are having fun here because the schedule is out. The schedule is out. One thing that the NFL does a great job is they keep us engaged throughout the whole year. Like even if it's the off season, and we can still have a program like this and still have a lot of support. Like you see the people in the room and a lot of conversation because the NFL does a great job of making themselves relevant throughout the whole year. So when the NFL schedule is released, it's almost Christmas again. Everything is Christmas to me. Like the draft night is Christmas Eve, and the schedule comes out. That's another thing. So we get to break this down. And we get to break it down with you guys. We love to be able to come before you guys and conversate with you guys. I'm asking you guys questions, you're answering me, and we're talking about it. So, what other Eagles cover show is better than that? Thank you guys for tuning in. All right, so I am out. I'm not doing any more drink, but I will be sipping on my wine. I still got my red wine. Pat will be doing his brown, and Michelle will be continue to sip on her red wine. So, guys, let me know what you're drinking out there, which a lot of people have, like JR. He says he's doing the Proper 12 and Yingling. I like Yingling, and I like Proper 12. I like that. All right, so here we go. Everybody, raise your drinks to our Philadelphia Eagles as we continue the discussion about what you guys think about this upcoming season now that the schedule has been released. So, to our Philadelphia Eagles, down the hatch, 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the third quarter
All right, third quarter. So I said I was going to bring this question up because somebody had a question for Nichelle. All right, Ted
About
has a
Zach
question for Nichelle.
McPherson.
So he said, "What do you think about McPherson? That's our rookie cornerback that we got, and some people think we got a steal in getting him where we got him. So what do you think about him?
I think he has a big upside. I mean, do you see his family roster? His mom was a running back. His mom was a running back. You know, his dad also played defense at Boston College. I mean, I think we might have got a steal. I think he might be that gem in the rough. I mean, time will tell. We got to see how Gannon and the crew develops him. But I think there's potential upside. We have to stop thinking that everything was going to be won, you know, in rounds 1 and 2 of the draft. You know, some of those gems are out there again, and if they're under the right tutelage and they have the right coaching, we have no idea how some of these young guys are going to break out. So I'm optimistic about McPherson. I want to see what he can do, you know, under Gannon, and being that support that Slay would need on the other side. But we'll see. But he comes from good stock.
Mm-hmm.
He comes from good stock.
He does. His family was all D1, and he comes from Penn State too. He was a transfer from Penn State.
Right,
so,
right.
He reminds me of Patrick Robertson. Remember Patrick Robertson, our slot corner when we that year. He has the same measurements, the same intangibles as Patrick Robinson. I think he could be
5'10", 196.
I think he'd be outstanding slot corner. I do think we need to go after our outside corner. The one name that keeps coming up, and what I said before was Steven Nelson. He was released from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would think that would actually complete our defensive secondary. But McPherson, he has, like you just said, he I think he is a diamond in the rough. He has the opportunity to take that position if we don't go out there in free agency and grab this corner.
Yeah, Rhea kept talking about a corner today on WIP this morning on the morning show. I can't remember because I was driving. You know, but she said
I think it was Steven Nelson.
Was it Steven Nelson?
Yeah, Steve Nelson is the hot name that's out there.
Okay.
I've been saying him, man. I said
he's going to be tough to bring into the building only because, and you
do we have the money for him?
How we can make it work. Yeah, he can make it work.
How we be like this? Listen, I give you $5 million right now. All right, listen. This. I give you $5 million. You're gonna be starting outside corner. Some incentives in it. Come next year when we drop all this money off our cap, we got you. We got you.
But the only problem with that is that although you may think that free agents out there are the bottom of the barrel, in this instance, he is sought after. There are other like 10 to 14 other teams that are interested in his services. So it's not a slam dunk. It's not going to be easy to convince him to come into our camp. So that's a challenge but we'll leave that up to Howie right there. And then speaking of Howie, right? So we talk about how does this team improve by 4 to 5 wins. You guys are being very optimistic, and I mean, we're all being very optimistic and saying 10 wins and 9, 10, 11 wins. Very optimistic. And saying that, you're saying that our front office is not dysfunctional, huh? So that plays no role.
Now you're going too far.
Our front office is still the front office, and we found some things out from last year how meddlesome they are in the game. I mean, deciding the players that's on the game day roster, and even our owner saying, questioning the coach when he runs the ball too much. Now,
but now that's been exposed. Do you think they can get away with it as much? Because people talked about it. Everybody knows there was expose after expose. Now they gotta fall back a little bit. And because if they don't,
they will. I think they have to. But do you think they will?
They have to.
If they know what's good for the future of their team.
Mm-hmm. They're building a young core right now. They're building. I think they're still
going to get involved. They have to
sit back and let these guys do their thing. They got to let these coaches do their thing. Their first year, second year, and third year maybe a little different, but the first year they got to take their own lumps. They got to develop their own path for what is known for what they did with Doug Peterson. So that information is out there with Doug Peterson. They cannot repeat those steps again.
Yeah,
All right,
because
Jay.
nobody's going to want to coach here. That's not sustainable. What was going on is not sustainable in the front office because if you run through another coach and another quarterback and the same stories come out again, that's going to be horrible for the organization. Horrible.
Well,
So they're going to
when
have to at
has
least
that?
fall back for one season.
I mean, I pray that you are correct and they are listening to you right now. With the probability of that happening, I just don't know. But I'm in agreement. I echo everything you said. They need to fall back, not only because it's been exposed, but because it affects the team. It affects the team. That's the biggest reason why they need to fall back. If you have a coach, his only job should be to win games. You should not care how he wins those games, whether it's through the air or on the ground or playing conservative. You should allow him the autonomy to make the best decision with his roster, his team, to win games. I've said this before. I don't care if we win 12 games and the score is 4-3. I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care what the wins look like. If we won 12 games and every score was 4-3, I don't even know how you get 4 points. But anyway, 4-3, and we won 12 games, I will be happy and satisfied with that. You know what I'm saying? You can't ask for a coach to be successful and then dictate to him how he's supposed to do that. It sounds like friends of mine that pray to God and then wants to tell God how he's supposed to give him what they're asking for. You know what I'm saying?
They let him pick a squad, though. They did let him pick a squad. I like Howard. Throw Howard's comment up. I like that. I want to see all the run yards this year. All the run yards.
You know what? I got to do this, and I just saw this comment come up there about Trevon Grimes. There's going to be some surprise cuts this year. There's definitely going to be competition at every single position. Sirianni has mentioned it over and over and over again. So just because you were on this team last year doesn't mean or guarantee you a spot. I saw another comment about Boston Scott possibly being the cut. I could see something like that happening, like a surprise guy getting cut because he's not competing as hard as the next person in front of him. Or next to him, Trevon Grimes is a 6'4" receiver that runs a 4.4. I mean, just because you run a 4.4 don't mean you could play in this league. Don't get it twisted. Combine speed, which my brother loves,
doesn't translate to game speed.
It's different from football speed, but you can look at his tape. He does go up. He does high point the ball. We need that in the receiver because we got a lot of smaller guys that's going to, matriculate in the middle of the field. But we need bigger receivers in the red zone who can, go and get these passes from these corners. Now that we speak about corners, though, I didn't know Patrick Peterson was a free agent.
Is he? Is he still effective?
No, he got picked up by Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
But he was a free agent.
Oh, wow. He was a free agent out there.
That was crazy. Right. I didn't even know that. That slipped by us. That really slipped by us.
Okay. Howard says run first offense. If Lurie is not meddling and because we heard about the Tuesday meetings with the owner that Doug used to have and have to explain himself, even though he won the game, he would have to explain himself on why he didn't win the game this way and why he won the game that way. That's a little bit much. That's much. That's a lot. If you hire a coach, his main job is to win games. You shouldn't give a damn how he does it. Let him win the games that he's supposed to win. And I believe that if they allow him to do that, I think Sirianni is a smart enough guy and enthusiastic enough to win. He wants to win games too. He doesn't matter. He doesn't care. He's going to take advantage of whatever weakness the defense have, and I think that you need to allow him to do that. So if that means running the ball 32 times in a game, it may not be the aerial attack, the high-flying aerial attack that the owner may want to see, but I don't give a damn about that. I just want W's. I just want W's.
Yes. You got to
just win the damn
if
game.
If it's effective to run 35 times a game, run the damn ball 35 times a game. All right?
Yes.
If you got to use all four running backs to run it, use all 4 running backs. If your offensive line is dominating line of scrimmage, and we always talk about the line of scrimmage, I always bring this up. If you could dominate the line of scrimmage, don't go away from it. Don't put these guys, these 300-pounders, in a position where they're belling. Let them go forward. Let these hogs go forward and get those 4 or 5 yards per pop.
All right, here we go. Then this is in the news also. Jordan Hicks, our old friend here, Jordan Hicks, middle linebacker, on the Super Bowl championship team, although he was often injured while he was with the Eagles. He went to Arizona and made a name for himself. He played in every game since he left the Eagles. He played in every game, and he was a playmaker when he was here. Well, he is seeking a trade right now from the Arizona Cardinals. How you guys feel about possibly bringing him back? Me personally, I would love to have him back.
I'd give him a year. Think? I'd give him a year deal. See what he does. Why not?
So everybody wants to trade Ertz for Hicks straight up with a 3rd round in between. As much as I say we need linebacker, these young guys, Sean Bragg, Devon Taylor, TJ Edwards, Alex Singleton, Patrick Johnson, the kid from LSU. I think we have a young core of linebackers that's going to surprise Jacoby Stevens. That's his name. I think we're going to have a young core of linebackers that's going to surprise this fan base. They're able to move. They're able to get after the quarterback. And I understand Jordan Hicks is the playmaker, but when he was with us, we said it when healthy. When healthy, he's a playmaker.
He does get hurt a lot.
But he hasn't gotten hurt since he left us.
Let's talk about. We talked about that. Let's talk about the medical staff. We've had 3 different medical staffs in 3 years, and the staff that took us to the Super Bowl that was here for a long time, they had the healthiest teams, for a good decade. We were 1st, 4th, 5th, 6th healthiest team in the league. I'm just trying. Right. So I'm trying to figure out, why would you get rid of the staff that had you healthy enough to go to the Super Bowl? Whose idea was that?
Yeah,
because it was stupid.
That's somebody needs to do an expose on that. All we've heard is, folks like Emmanuel Acho and folks complaining about the turnover on our staff. I think he said we could do a 30 for 30 on the Eagles turnover on their medical staff. But why, if something wasn't broke, whose idea was it to transition to medical staff?
Got to be a GM, right?
Yeah, that has to be the GM. Ted Wiggins, is Sanders really an every down back? Looking at his stats, once he breaks that one long run, his average is 2 yards a carry. Yes, he's an every down back. Yeah. Give him the damn ball was hurt. And let him do it. His O-line was hurt, Ted. Let the guy. This guy is I think he's a phenomenal young player, young running back, and I think the more touches he gets, the better he'll be. So we know that. I mean, even with this new coaching regime, we know that it's probably going to be running back by committee, but I think that Sirianni is going to really utilize Sanders' talent as not only a running back, but also a receiver out of the backfield. I can't wait. I'm excited about seeing Sirianni. Oh, that's the end of the, 3rd quarter? I'm excited about seeing Sirianni. His play calling and his scheming on offense. I'm very excited to see a new play caller come in there, and with the enthusiasm that he has, I think that, and I'm guessing here, I don't know, I've never talked to him and all that, but he's such a competitor that I think he's going to do whatever it takes, and he's going to call whatever play he thinks that's going to be beneficial to this team, no matter what it is, no matter, I don't think he's going to be worried about Jeffrey Lurie and wanting to pass the ball 60 times a game. I think he's going to run the play that he believes is going to win and be successful. And I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. So, Ted, I think Sanders is a every down back. Probably not, in this day and age of NFL, I don't think there's many running backs that are 3 down backs. You know what I'm saying? Like they all have. This is just the world we're living in. They all have running back by committee. Even if one gets the bulk of the load, which I think Sanders will get, they always have a third down back in the
Yeah.
wings and a big back sometimes for the short goal situation. So I
Well,
think
before
that
you
he's
go-
going to do just fine.
Before we go into the fourth quarter, I want to reiterate what you just said. We were the inventors of that, of the third down back, of the three running backs, the switch of backs. We had Thunder and Lightning with Ricky Waters and Charlie Gardner. Then we had Deuce Staley and Bruce Brian Westbrook.
The
Then you
good
had
old
Correll-
days.
Do you remember you had
And
Corell
Corell
Buckholder
Buck-
too?
Buck,
You had
Buckholder,
three
yeah.
running
These are
backs.
all my peoples. All my
I want to take one comic from from one of our groups, one of the groups that tunes in, so Philadelphia Eagles Faithful Diehard Nation. Jeff Cook put up a comment. Jordan Hicks could be a real asset when he's healthy. Now that I've seen him healthy in Arizona, I realize it's us, not him.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
it's
that's-
true. It's
That's
so
true.
apparently with the turnover, they replace the old regime with less experienced regime.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they realized their mistake because the latest person that they have, that's chief medical officer, he only observed last year, and he also was over the medical staff on the Flyers and the Sixers. So we're not getting an inexperienced person this time around. So hopefully they will bring back the veteran sports medical folks and get rid of some of these folks that were, too green to handle the job. That's basically what happened to us the past 3 years.
Doctors remind me of the doctors from Any Given Sunday. Oh,
Right.
Yeah,
No, wow.
Yeah.
he okay. Send Lawrence Taylor back in
Yeah.
there. One more.
So
hit.
we had
Oh.
inexperience at on our medical staff since 2017. That's the difference.
All right, let's start.
All right, we're going to talk about the smoothies and all that in the fourth quarter, but let's start this fourth quarter.
You're now listening to the fourth quarter.
You listen to Eagles Talk by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans. We'd like to talk to you guys about our favorite football team, and we're having a lot of fun doing it right now, talking about the optimism we have for this upcoming season. We know the schedule now. We know who they play, and we'll go game by game, not predictions, but just the order of the games this year if you haven't seen the schedule yet. So in doing that, we like to talk about them in a relaxed manner where we drink alcohol. We get drunk sometimes. But so without further ado, Pat is doing the I don't know what he's doing.
The Henry
But-
McKenna.
Henry
bourbon
McKenna
whiskey,
bourbon.
Bourbon.
Nichelle is doing red wine. I am now sipping with red wine, and I am on board with 10 wins now because I had 2 shots of tequila. So
Yeah.
I'm
We need
optimistic
Tad
with
Wiggins.
the rest of you guys.
We need Tad Wiggins to be our bartender, man.
Yeah. Ted comes up with a lot of good drinks.
Oh,
He was
man.
drinking a whiskey sour. He said earlier.
Yeah, but
All
he
right, so
gave me the
everybody,
recipe.
Royal
he did.
flush. He said a royal flush.
you got to give us the recipe for the Royal Flush. Everybody,
I got
raise
it.
your drinks to
Oh,
our
sorry.
Philadelphia Eagles, and let's continue this conversation into the fourth quarter. Down the hatch, 3, 2, 1. Howard says, I'll drink water. I had a heart attack last July. Well, yes, Howard, you
Yes.
drink water. Please
Continue
drink
to
water,
drink water.
and stay healthy. In that vein there, I just got my son. How about this? My son bought a scale.
And that
14-year-old
scale lied to you, didn't it?
No, that scale is my best friend now. That scale told me, it whispers sweet nothings into my ear.
Oh,
That scale told me I was 235. I love that scale. I'm never letting that scale go. So it's probably going to be different after this weekend. I have another, but that's a miracle in itself. After coming off of 10 days of being in Florida, and believe me, I had no restrictions. I ate everything that I wanted to eat. So to come back and be still 235, I'm very happy about that. But Howard, you take care of your health. I'm trying to do the
Yes, take
same
care of
with
your
mine.
He
And
said the Flyers and Eagles just a little bit.
I blame him
Blame
for
the
my
Flyers.
gray hair too and my stress. I get it. I get
Oh
it.
yeah, my goodness. All right, so we go into this fourth quarter. We are talking about let's go down the game. So I mean, just a quick. We're not going to do a lot of time. You got the games in front of you.
I
So
got
week
'em right in
one
front of
we
The
play
Falcons.
Atlanta. So everybody,
Atlanta. I might go
we
visit
play
my
Atlanta
cousins.
in Atlanta.
Yeah, I might
play
go
Atlanta
hang out with
in
my
Atlanta.
cousins for that. They're Eagles
So
fans.
we win that. Everybody thinks we win that. All right. I don't know. I think it's a tough one.
I'm a 50-50. I'm 50-50.
Yeah,
You know what? I'm
I
gonna be
say.
honest. I'm gonna say we win that one.
Yeah, well, all right. So then we come home and we play San Francisco 49ers.
We're beating them.
We're definitely.
All right, that's a possible loss, though. I'm just saying that's going to be a tough game. Nothing's going to be easy until we.
We're beating the 49ers.
Then we play who? Third week.
Dallas Cowgirls. Monday Night
We're
Football.
beating them.
Where at?
We will
Away,
be
right?
at the Cowgirls.
We're not winning that. We're not winning it. All right. Okay. So, all right. What's the
We're
fourth
winning
game?
that. We gotta ask the crowd. You know how mad? Look. They may have helped us jump up and get the pick, but we didn't forget about last season because I was in Costa Rica and they almost ruined my trip.
All right. Now, fourth game. Who's the fourth game?
Fourth game is the Chiefs. We losing that game.
Chief. We lose that game. Yeah. All right. So, just that's the first quarter of the season right there. Right. So we could possibly be 2-2.
When
we can very well be 0-4.
And
on the positive side, we can be 3-1. That's very.
I like David Wong with the stats. He said we always beat Atlanta. We're 15-9 with Atlanta. See?
Okay. All right. I like that. So that that's 2 wins. 2-2. I see that we don't win. I don't see us beating the Chiefs, and we're going to split with Dallas. So. I don't think we win at their place. So I think we win at home, but we don't win there. So we could possibly be 2-2 after that. Okay, so fifth game. Fifth game is what?
Carolina Panthers at Carolina.
All right, we beat that one. I win that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's the next game?
Thursday Night Football. Now you got to realize this before I say this.
Tampa Bay.
They're coming off a hard game against Miami. So they're coming off a hard-fought game against the Miami Dolphins, and they got to come to us. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We lose that.
It's an 8:20 at night game too.
Yeah, I think we lose that one.
Okay. All right. Okay. What's the next?
Vegas, baby.
Whatever.
Vegas. Oh my God. Vegas. Yo, I was so down to go to Vegas until you put the prices of the tickets down there. Oh my.
They went up from
and they're higher than that
to $1,000.
Yes. All right. So we might be still in Vegas because you know me, I'm all for going there. I'll tailgate and do the damn show from the parking lot. I ain't got to be in the game. We've done that a lot. So I'm not going to count out not being in Vegas, but I am going to count out I'm not probably going to be in that seat, not for $1,000. Not going to happen.
That's crazy.
That's too much.
Your brother's driving us, so we're going to be there.
All right. Okay. So, all right, Vegas, we can be Vegas. I think we can be Vegas. All right. What's the next game?
We go right to Detroit.
We can beat Detroit. Yeah, we can beat Detroit. I like that.
Right after Detroit, we travel back home, and the Chargers come see us.
Chargers come see us. What? The game against Detroit is where? Sunday.
The game against Detroit is Sunday at 1 p.m. The game against the Chargers is another Sunday at 4 o'clock.
So the game against Detroit is in Detroit. The game against the Chargers at home.
Yes.
And we got the late game.
All right, I think we can. The Chargers going to be. That's going to be tough. I don't know. I can't even say it. I can't say a W on that. All right. JR says the Chargers is an L. Chargers is an L.
I give it an L.
All right. What's after the Chargers?
We go right to Denver.
Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Denver.
I think we can win the game. I think you win the game because they won't know who their quarterback is. They'll be fighting between Teddy Bridgewater. That's not happening. If it's Aaron Rodgers, then it's definitely a loss because the receiving core is outstanding. And they just released Deshaun Hamilton, another small, fast receiver from Penn State. So, I mean, if they can release that guy and still have the receivers they have, Judy, KJ Hamler, Sutton, they got a receiving core here. But their quarterback.
And they also have Patrick Surtain, right? Is he out there? Yeah, Patrick.
But he's going to get beat though. He's going to get beat. He's going to get beat by his fellow teammate.
His old teammate, huh?
So I think that's a W. All
right, okay. Who's after Denver?
The Saints with Jameis Winston as a quarterback.
Now people were saying that's a loss.
Who that?
They're forgetting. Who that?
No,
I don't know.
That's a Saints fan trolling. Stop.
Right? Who that? That's the Saints without Drew Brees. That's who that is.
Mm-hmm.
That's a W for us.
That's a W.
This is crazy.
So
you know who that is? That's a W.
1, 2, 3. We got 4 losses right now. You know that, right?
Right. All right.
Then we come back to New York. We play the Giants. That's a loss.
That's a loss.
The first game against the Giants is a
beat
loss.
them.
The first game against the Giants is going to be a loss.
I'm all with. We're splitting with the division. So you pick your poison. You want to win there or lost there, but we're not.
Then we stay in New York and we play the Jets. That's a W.
And we play the Jets.
That's a W.
I think that's a W.
Then we have our finally we have our bye.
Hold up, wait a minute. Is he lying? Is he lying? Anybody check this?
I didn't get nothing.
Don't play with us, Brian. Brian, don't play with us. Man. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Look, I'm ready to stop the show. Wait a minute. I'm going on.
Ain't nothing on Twitter. I'm going right to the source.
Ain't nothing there.
No, stop playing, man.
He is playing. Trolling.
All right.
Trolling.
We are banning Brian Rogers. All right, how you block?
Don't get blocked.
No.
Don't get blocked.
No, he's
you about to give us heart attacks. We just talked to Howard, and now you're trying to give Howard a heart attack. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, man. Time out, Brian.
Look, JR said, time out, Brian. Look, man, I'm about to stop the show. What? Think about that.
We're about to do another hour.
I know. We will have to do another hour. All right,
so back to the schedule, man.
All right, next game.
I didn't win somewhere else. We finally hit a bye week at week 14.
We win the bye week. All right. Go ahead on.
Week 15, we go to the Washington football team.
Washington football team, we lose that.
We definitely gonna lose that one. Then we play the Giants again. I think that's a W because you said we're splitting.
I think we win that one. And then we play the Cowboys.
Football team. We play the football team again. That's a W. And then we end it with the Cowgirls. I think that's a W.
So we're very optimistic because we only have like 5 losses, huh? All right, this
2,
this
3,
can't be
4,
right.
5, 6. We're 10-6. I mean, we're 11-6. That's
11-6, right? All right, okay.
We're at least going to win 8 or 9 games.
Wait a minute. What?
Go to Twitter.
Uh-oh.
I'm on Twitter.
I'm joking.
Oh, I'm about to say, boy, don't play with me, man.
I already looked up all that stuff. There's only people complaining about him and Tim Tebow and why the Houston PD still hasn't been called, and it's only been mediation with the NFL. That's the latest update on Deshaun Watson. There's no police involved.
Yeah.
All right, so Jeff Cook says we're going to surprise Dallas and KC and go 2-3 in the beginning. Man,
if we surprise Dallas and KC, we might be able to get those 11 wins. I
like being an underdog. Let everybody count us out.
It's very optimistic. I agree with you, Bill. I really do agree with you. It's very optimistic.
Let's be honest. It's May.
I say 9.
We don't know what the team look like, so
I can see it's 8 to 9. I really can. I can see 8 to 9. Like I said, the points I brought up earlier, just the offensive line coming back healthy is like adding new free agents, adding new players to the team.
That's 2 games right there.
That's 2 games right there. Devontae and the coaching staff, I think, is another 2 games. So I think we can do it. I think we can do it. And that's the end of the quarter. That's the 4th quarter. We are done, but we will be back next week, yo. And we hope the rookies were in this week, right? Weren't the rookies in for mini camp?
It was
in this week.
It was a rookie mini camp today.
Very impressed with Devontae. Very impressed.
I'm always impressed with this dude. He has the ability to
I am very impressed with him.
Yes, he's a film study guy. He knows the plays of the defense.
Yes.
It's a play. I forget who they're playing, but he pointed out the coverage. He pointed out the coverage to Mac Jones. He said he pointed to where the linebacker is going to stay at and where this guy's going to float to, and he went right in between.
He is a legitimate football nerd. That's what you want in your players, especially a big playmate.
Hold up, did Sirianni say that?
What?
Yeah.
I want guys that love football. I want guys.
Yeah, he did. And Devontae Smith is a legit football nerd. Straight up. Yeah. Legit. All he does is study the plays, study the defenses. So that's what you want. That's what you want.
All right, here's the last one. I'll give Brian one more shot. NFC East will be a whole lot better than last year. And that's possible. That's very possible. Yeah. Washington, defense is for real. Top 5 defense, and they added another piece to that defense, so they're going to be for real. Their offense is a little questionable, but their defense is going to keep them in a lot of games. The Dallas Cowboys have the most talented team in the division. They always seem to self-destruct, but when you look at them on paper, they are the most talented team. Well, you know, if they could put it together, they're probably the favorite of the division. And then the Giants, that guy down there, Judge, has really changed the attitude of that team, and it started last year, and they're probably going to build on that.
I'm gonna stop
and we're
right
looking
there.
to do the same
I'm
thing with our new chief.
Forget the Giants. They're a bunch of crybabies, whiners, big babies. That's what they are. All right. Oh, y'all don't win the game, so you get us to the playoffs. Man, shut your ass up. All right. No. Oh, you took the Cowboys. We can't get the fun.
Nobody can look. It's our rival. It's our rivalry with Dallas that makes the NFC hot. That brings in the most dollars. It's not Dallas and the Giants. It's not Eagles and the Giants, Redskins. It's Dallas Eagles. That's why we made the deal with the devil. Because we know where the eating's good at. We know that our rivalry, us two teams being the best, that's when the NFC East is on top. Yeah. When us two teams are going at it. When our two teams are going at it. So, I mean, you know, they're just another part of I-95, but the real rivalry in the NFC East is us and Dallas. Always will be. Always will be.
You know what the Giants losers fans can get? Y'all can get this.
All right. With that being said, we are going to sign off. But we are so looking forward to this team getting on the field and facing that competition from the NFC East. I think the NFC East is not going to be the NFC least this year.
No,
that's my prediction.
Not.
I think we return to one of the hot divisions in the league. I think everybody is on the upward trend. And we'll see improved play and improved teams in the NFC East. So they will not be joking us next year, because that was historically a bad division last year. We were probably one of the worst divisions in the history of football last year. And we're not going to do that 2 years in a row. And our Philadelphia Eagles are going to do a lot better than they did last year. We just have to see how much better. But I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight. We thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and we'll be back next week, man. Eagles Cowboy, who put that up there with Duke?
David. Yep, that's right.
Okay, that's what's up. We going. Thank you guys for tuning in, man, and we'll be back next week. I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight. For Pat and Nichelle, tune in next Thursday, 7 o'clock, same bat channel, same bat time, and we'll be talking about the Eagles as we always do. Take us out, Pat.
We go live in 5, 4, 3. Smash him up, crack that fool. Quarterback crack, yo, sack that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Smash him up, watch that move. Went too swift, can't catch these dudes. Hit him, 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 listen, 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 hit him, listen. It's Eagles talk live, it's talk Eagles. Philly bleed green, it's from your people. Fly, Eagles fly. Let's beat the squad.